scored 60 points. Look at the Boston players mobbing.
Dropped 60-point games, hit buzzer beaters to beat dynasties, broke ankles with legendary crossovers, and yet most fans barely mention them today. These were all-stars, scoring champs, lockdown defenders, and even NBA champions who somehow faded from the spotlight. From Ralph Sampson's clutch heroics,
Mark Price off the pick and roll, one of the greatest shooters I've ever seen in our game,
to Mark Price's 50-40-90 efficiency, and Kevin Johnson's dunk on Hakeem. We're giving these stars their flowers. Some shaped the game, others lit it on fire. Either way, it's time to remember them. Stay with us, hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into the NBA legends you might have overlooked. Ralph Sampson. Born July 7, 1960, Ralph Sampson wasn't just tall, he was transformational. At 7 feet 4 inches with a face-up game and soft jumper, he dominated college, won 3 straight AP Player of the Year awards, and went #1 in the 1983 draft. Rookie of the Year? Check. 16.6 rebounds per game as a rookie? Unreal. 4 straight All-Star selections? Yup. But his crowning NBA moment came in 1986 when he nailed an off-balance buzzer beater to knock off the Lakers in the West Finals. That wild shot sent Houston to the finals. Injuries cut him down early, but in his prime, Sampson was the Wembanyama prototype. Next up, a man who made 56 points look casual and shot like prime Steph. Glenn Rice. Born May 28, 1967, Glenn Rice was automatic. From 1992 to 1998, he averaged 22.2 points per game and 4.8 rebounds per game with ridiculous 47-41-85 splits. That's not just efficient, that's elite. He once torched the Magic for 56 points on 20 of 27 shooting, a scoring display for the ages. Rice also won the 1995 three-point contest, beating sharpshooters like Steve Kerr. In the 1997 All-Star Game, he exploded for 26 points in one half, a still-standing record, and won MVP honors. He later became a valuable third option for the 2000 Lakers title team. Despite that resume, Rice is rarely mentioned. But make no mistake, when Rice got hot, defenders had no answer. Now let's remember a guard who was all buckets, every single year. Mitch Richmond, born June 30th, 1965. Mitch Richmond was as consistent as it gets. From 1988 to 1999, he never averaged under 19.7 ppg. That's 11 seasons of elite scoring, capped by a career average of 21 ppg. He shot 46% from the field, 39% from 3, and 85% from the line. Pure efficiency. In 1996, he scored 37 in a playoff win that gave the Kings their first ever postseason victory in Sacramento. He was also the 95 All-Star Game MVP and an Olympic gold medalist in '96. A Hall of Famer and 5 times All-NBA selection, Richmond helped pioneer the modern shooting guard game. Forgotten now? Maybe. But in his prime, he was unstoppable. Coming next, a scoring champ who dropped 57 as a 6'5" forward. Adrian Dantley. Born February 28, 1955, Adrian Dantley wasn't big, but he was brutal on defense. He averaged 24.3 points per game on 54% shooting for his career. From 1980 to 1984, he posted 4 straight 30-plus ppg seasons with the Jazz. That's pure scoring. He hit his peak in 1982, dropping 57 points on the Bulls. He also won 2 scoring titles, went to 6 All-Star games, and earned 2 All-NBA nods. Dantley wasn't flashy, just freakishly efficient and skilled in the post. Traded away before Detroit's title runs, he missed his ring shot, but make no mistake, he was a force. Next, a defender so good, they invented an award just to honor him. Sidney Moncrief. Born September 21st, 1957, Sidney Moncrief was the definition of a two-way star. From 1981 to 1986, he was a 5-time All-Star, 5-time All-Defense pick, and a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, the first ever. He also averaged 20.4 ppg and shot 51% from the floor in that span. In 1991, years past his prime, He dropped 23 points in just 22 minutes during a playoff win. A glimpse of his greatness. Though he never won a title, Moncrief made the playoffs every year of his 10-season prime. His defense didn't show up in blocks or steals, but in wins. Let's go from defense to the man who quietly led Philly to a title. Maurice Cheeks. Born September 8, 1956, Maurice Cheeks didn't talk much, but his game spoke volumes. From 1979 to 1989, he averaged 12.2 points per game, 7.3 assists per game, and 2.2 steals per game, all on 52.8% shooting. During the 1983 playoffs, he upped his numbers and helped guide the Sixers to one of the most dominant championships ever. A 4-time All-Star and 5-time All-Defense selection, Cheeks was a coach on the floor and a nightmare for ball handlers. He finished his career with over 2,300 steals, briefly passing Julius Erving's pro record. In short, a winner, a tactician, and one of the smoothest floor generals you forgot. Next up, Tim Hardaway, crossover so nasty that it earned the name in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2022. Born September 1, 1966, Tim Hardaway had that move. His killer crossover wasn't just a highlight, it was a weapon. Before a 1993 knee injury, he averaged 20.6 ppg and 9.7 apg for the Warriors. Post-injury, he adjusted, launching threes in Miami and still posting 17.3 ppg and 7.9 apg while making 36% from deep. Across his prime, he averaged double-digit assists 4 times and had 5 All-NBA nods to go with 5 All-Star trips. He wasn't just flashy, he controlled the game. And though Run TMC didn't last long, Hardaway made sure you remembered his name. Now let's talk about a man who once dropped 60 and dunked on legends. Tom Chambers. Born June 21st, 1959, Tom Chambers was more than a dunk, though that one over Mark Jackson was nasty. Between 1982 and 1991, he averaged 21 points per game and 6.8 rebounds per game. In Phoenix, he went nuclear, averaging 26.5 points per game and 7.7 RPG over 2 seasons. His top moment, a 60-point eruption in 1990, a game that still holds as one of the highest-scoring outbursts ever. He was also the 1987 All-Star Game MVP, dropping 34 points in a matchup stacked with Hall of Famers. A 4-time All-Star and 2-time All-NBA pick, Chambers never made the Hall, but his resume speaks for itself. Ready for the guy who almost lived in the 50-40-90 club? Mark Price. Born February 15, 1964, Mark Price made efficiency look easy. For his career, he shot 47.2% from the field, 40.2% from deep, and 90.4% from the line. From 1988 to 1995, he averaged 17.6 points per game and 7.8 assists per game with elite 48-41-91 splits. He was a 4-time All-Star and made 4 All-NBA teams, all while leading the Cavs to consistent playoff runs, if only they didn't keep running into Jordan. Price mastered the pick and roll and was one of the first small guards to dominate without relying on pure athleticism. To close it out, here's the 6 feet 1 inch point guard who dunked on Hakeem. Kevin Johnson. Born March 4, 1966, Kevin Johnson was small but unstoppable. From 1989 to 1997, he averaged 19.8 points per game and 10 assists per game, while consistently putting the Suns near the top of the West. He had blazing speed, court vision, and hops, including that legendary dunk over Hakeem in the 1994 playoffs. In that same series, he dropped 38 points and 12 assists in a must-win. Johnson was a 3-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, and 1989's Most Improved Player. He was the engine behind Phoenix's 1993 finals run and Charles Barkley's best teammate. He's rarely mentioned now, but in the early 90s, he was elite. That's another forgotten star, and the end of this spotlight lineup. Dropped 57, won scoring titles, broke ankles with legendary crossovers, hit buzzer beaters to knock off dynasties. These guys did all of that, and still don't get the love they deserve. They weren't role players, they were all-stars, all-NBA talents, defensive players of the year, even champions. Yet their names rarely come up in debates, highlight reels, or all-time lists. That's why we had to bring them back to the center stage. Which one surprised you most, and who else should have made this list of forgotten NBA stars? Drop your takes in the comments, like the video, and subscribe for more untold NBA stories.